It is September 25th, 25. You know, Agent John, everything depends on you. Where in January of 19, they were talking about legal loopholes that Agent told on her before he talked to her. That's a big legal loophole. Then he doesn't even have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. He's just defrauding her then. They came up to me in 18. You tell one word on what we're doing. One word. We'll call you a liar. We'll say nothing you say is credible. We'll ruin your reputation until you cannot testify in court against us. And nothing can be used. Okay. They also said as time was going on, it's funny, she doesn't know what's going on. It's so funny. And they came out and said, they set you up to be arrested. So, since the beginning of the case, they have, within the first month or two, little white man shows up at Walmart 62 for every idle word you tell on us, I'll turn on you. Try to leave David as your child molester. You know that bruise on your leg? I used sodium pentothal on you. No, he didn't. He used hypnotic drugs. Then told me he had drugged me and told me to say a wrong nightgown, bending over and probably accidentally seeing your butt and life of pain because of it. Then threatened me again in front of the police and FBI. Went home to a legally bugged house. Dave debunked it. I was dressed modestly and they only seen the back of my knees. Then they came up to me where he had bruises before, throwing up, dizzy, almost passing out, severely infected. It wasn't the well water. It was us. We were drugging you until you say this. We were drugging you until you say that. We photoshopped all our lives. January 25th, 2019. Weird day. Very weird day. Okay. I had went to pay a payday loan and some weirdos were following me down to Walmart 62. And then I went over to the payday loan place and they let the door fly and I caught it with my sore arm and it hurt. Went to the mall, they had over 30 men out there harassing me. I asked Sarah, because I gave her my number, your number, to call you and ask her to call you. I was scared. And I went to leave and they said she's got an agent that protects her. Went back and told Sarah to stay out of it. I was afraid they'd kill her. Went down to Dixie and the drug cartel swarming her house, the big trucks. And she's like, you want to go for a ride? And I said, a ride won't fix it. We go down to AJ Tactical to shoot. And there's that weirdo there. I want to see her shot pattern. Guy starts laughing. She has nothing to worry about. Well, no, there's a video in the FBI case of me hiding on the floor crying like a baby girl. And Dave with the shooters they killed too. And before that, they were outside. What is that one guy's problem in Massillon? The guy from the prosecutor's office, helping people to get away with crimes. Why is he involving himself in crimes? He can't do this. Okay? We go to AJ Tactical, shoot, my shoulder's killing me. On the way home, Dave's like freaking out all the way home. People are swarming us. We drop off the car, we go up to Streetsboro, get a sandwich. Okay? Come home, and the drug cartel's sitting at the end of the road. While I get in a hot tub, my shoulder's killing me. He's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. While they said on Christmas Eve of 2018, next time they'll come up and kill me. Okay? I'm so scared. I get in bed with a loaded gun next to me, praying for God to help me. Someone knocks on the door. For the police always knew she was innocent before. They were talking about it at the station. Some guy was bailing this guy out from a team said that she's innocent. I'll pay a fine or bail. I said, no, the police always knew she's innocent before. And they never want to arrest her. They knew somebody else did something wrong before. Then they acted like somebody had that was you extorting money out of that recruiter. You might want to look into that one. And then there's a scuffle later on that some guy had bought me from the human traffickers for 25 grand. He's supposed to be African American, and they were arguing I paid 25 grand for her. I want her, you can't have her yet. And I'm sitting there with a gun in my half eye and going with nobody. Crying, praying when and where if they came through the door. And they wouldn't let him have me, and they laughed. Lay there and cried, prayed all night till daylight, then laid the gun on the floor and went to sleep. Okay. All right. Now that's 19. Okay. Then they said they photoshopped all their lives. That's how they put it. And then they were laughing that they had drugged me and told me to say this. They had drugged me and told me to say that. I never had anybody in my home. I get so tired of repeating myself. Hmm? Then we go into all the times they admitted to drug me, say this, they voiced people out of the room. May 25th, 21, 6 p.m. Other church people breaking in before drugging me, telling me to say word on molester stuff. That's not funny. 8, 9, 21, the apartment building, forming second close offense. Lady and little girls we're talking about. 4 or 5 neighbors did a police report. There's a lady on Fairlawn Street yelled at him, talked to several people in 21. Memorial Day weekend, 21. There was a heavy-set Michelle Moore, and they came down and yelled at the goons from Ravenna. Are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession. Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say before. Bullshit. Going down to bullshit. December 9, 21, at the open apartment on Cleveland Avenue, maintenance man. They told him all the tapes before with them and not me, and it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. Same day, white man bald with dark eyes distributing food at the Stark County Hunger Task Force on 9th Street. And Camp was one of my guards during the case. Came out, we always knew the tapes before with them and not her, so we never said a word. January 1922. 11 o'clock in the morning, they told the Department of Disability I was drugged and told to say it before. February 2nd, 22, Burlington Coat Factory. A Latino man admitted he drugged me first and told me to say it. People ran in Save-A-Lot. Down on 6th Street, people ran out of their houses, said it to the postman. There was an investigator from Ravenna drove by in a black Sebring, pulled up. I seen her out today. I found out that bastard really did drug her and tell her to say it before. Okay. So, March 24, 22, on 1:30, they meant to frame me. March 1st to 3rd of 21, they put 2 clips together. Put her in a porn. It's not her. It's them. Then later on, what you're describing is showering. Ha 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 ha. She figured out what they did. May 12th, 22 at noon, they found a tape of a shower scene, them emitting a shower scene in the other room. May 26th, 22 at noon, the shower scene was done on purpose to make it look weird. In August of 23, Officer Mark on a Tuesday between noon and 1 told the lady it's documented verified I was right before. And he said it was a drug cartel. It's also documented verified another woman was using my insurance, and it was a medication error that made me sick before. Okay. November 18th, 22, Eric, one of the drug dealers. All the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to do it, my idea to say it. For all these people to turn on her and they fell for it. Christmas Eve of 22, I go to Danny and John. I ask them, did you know where they kicked in my door on the 6th day while we're at the storage unit into the wall? Yes. Did you know about body cameras? No. Did you know they were taping in the bathroom? No. Did you know they took a video of me washing myself in the shower and put that in the other room to make me look weird with myself? They're laughing at me in stores, in front of people. Said no. I said, do you remember the orange, lemon, and grapefruit-sized bruises all over me? Throwing up and almost passing out outside in front of one of the neighbors. By the second weekend, it kept happening. Yeah. Did you know they were drugging me and telling me some weirdo stuff? They're laughing at me in front of people in stores and were beating on me. Did you know that's what was causing it? No. Thought you were working too hard and bruising too easy. April 16th, 23. After John's mom's memorial service, where I've been going over, talking to him about roofies, and Gabe, my grandson, his girlfriend's like Karen is scary. Somebody watching you live your life. I said, I know. And I said, they even admitted they were taping in the bathroom. I said, and John's like, well, I hope I was gassy. I said, you don't realize everybody used it. I looked at the kids. She's like, great. And she's like, Karen, this is scary. I said, what's really scary is I never seen her talk to anybody. Never even had my neighbors in my home. I come in, take a drink. I'd wash my hands, make something to eat and drink. And I had a 2-liter Diet Coke to save money. And I had 4 glasses of Diet Coke. Put the sandwich and the Diet Coke on the table, go and use the bathroom, wash my hands better, come out and take a drink. The room would go dizzy and black. Or I would wake up with marks that looked like injection marks. I had orange, lemon, grapefruit-sized bruises all over me. Throwing up, almost passing out in front of people. Jen's like, I seen her like that. She's like, Karen, this is scary. And Jen's like, I didn't think of someone hurting her. I said, I thought the well water was giving me cancer. And she's like, Karen, it's scary. Somebody was getting your house and harming you. I said, I know it is. April 16, 23, after Jen's mom's memorial service, seen Danny and Jen walk up to Gabe and Shay. Finally asked Dad what on earth is going on. He said he hired some guy named Pete on his own. Was Pete has men in her home before. Pete has her frame. Pete has her tape. The filthy, dirty statement. Never met him. Probably one of my rapists. Okay. June 7th, 23. Lighthouse Tabernacle. 10:11 in the morning, Walmart 62. FBI agent John fell for the stunt I taped so far. Oh, come on now, it was only a stunt. You're kidding. You mean that FBI agent fell for that? You're kidding, it was only a stunt. You mean John fell for it? You mean that FBI agent John fell for the stunt I taped so far that were only a stunt? Is that what's going on? Name and title, cackle and cackle. July 9th, 23. About 10 o'clock in the morning, the cartel at Trinity Gospel was in there. The FBI wouldn't dare fix it after what one of their agents did. Dare do. I thought there'd be SWAT teams. Yeah. September of 23, I'm up on Forest Grove Drive. Lady and guy walks by. She said some of the drug dealers they hired to watch her don't even find this funny anymore. She do anything wrong? She said no. The drug dealers already made fun of the FBI for falling for it. They photoshopped everything and made fun of the FBI. They made fun of you. Are they going to do anything about it? We don't know. But none of this is funny. The drug dealers already confessed they photoshopped everything. 23. Said she had even went to my ex-husband, asked him if they ever said it was a medication error that made her sick before. He said yes. They did encourage them to sue those doctors for years. He didn't say a word and let all those people hurt her. None of this is funny. Hmm? August 4th, 25. They admitted to using hypnotic drugs on me that make you sleepwalk and cause a metal taste in your mouth. And it causes you to have no memory. And they were bragging they used that on me. August 5th, 25, Dutch Valley Restaurant. Girls are in there. Some girl said some drug lord said he'd date her if her and her friends help harass me. And said, and if he actually got money out of it, he'd give it to her. Hmm? And as if Agent John didn't know they used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before, and that's why she has no memory. She had that metal taste in her mouth. As if he didn't know. He was telling people he knew she was being drugged, being right before the case started. He let them torture her. Is he some kind of coward? August 7th, 25. Investigators in Walmart 62. They would still have this. We got him taped again, admitting to drugging her and telling her to say it before, and even using hypnotic drugs and that she would have no memory. And them calling Agent John a coward. August 31st, 25. Summit Mall, Macy's. Man answers the phone. It is documented, verified. They used hypnotic drugs when they drugged her and told her to say it before. And she has no memory of what those people did. Nobody's allowed to say a word. Some guys up there, she did say she had a metal taste in her mouth. She has no memory. Other ones saying they're going to tell some guy named Keith what's going on. Lady downstairs, it is documented, verified. They used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. And she has no memory. Do you realize what we look like to her yelling stuff at her? Insane. Insane. March 27th, 25. An investigator that dated Michelle Day's old girlfriend. The young blonde girl. Okay. After she broke up with Dave, investigators act like it was the one I call Officer John. Okay. March 27, 25 after midnight. He's outside. I'm glad where I stayed up and went through everything. And I'm glad she stayed up and went through everything. I told Michelle I never want to see her again. I got her to confess that when they bashed in the back of her head, 12/21/18, that they had tried to kill me or leave me incompetent, and it didn't work. And the reason she doesn't know who that doctor is from before, it's not one of hers. He works for them, and they have lied. He was one of her doctors, and she doesn't know who he is. He got it out of Dave that a girlfriend from before me made him marry me to get a job at my dad's factory so she'd have free insurance. And he could give her extra money. The woman using my insurance running up medical bills was his girlfriend. Another one. And he had got it out of Vegas when he asked him, why would you tell people it offended you when it's 6 months later, after a traffic accident she had nothing to do with? Someone just calls her a faker, said it didn't even concern him. Didn't offend them at all. They just lied so people would help out. He was supposed to go look for you. April 17th, 25. Sheetz gas station. Hartville. There's big government SUVs driving around. Michelle walks out of Sheetz. And walks up to a blue Bronco, was talking to him, and she was loud enough to get her across the parking lot. So I talked to the police up there. They said, how dumb was I? Telling that guy that when they bashed in the back of my head, that they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent, and it didn't work. And the reason she doesn't know who that doctor is from before, he's not one of hers. He works for them. And they had lied. He was one of my doctors. And she actually doesn't know who he is. They said he's an agent and she's some kind of informant. We all could end up in jail for this. How much she really liked him. Okay. April 24th, 25, Summit Mall. Texas groups up there, Muslims with ladies in hijabs, Middle Eastern men. Some of the cartel laughing because Michelle told on them. One of the guys, part of it, yelled out, you tell that guy Will up there that was to pull off a scam. Here, it's all ruined because Michelle told on him that that doctor was not one of hers. He works for them. And they had lied he was one of her doctors. You tell him we said take care of her. Left all kinds of threats on that little girl. Okay. May 26, 25. Walmart 62. Florida cartel comes in. Where May 25th, 25, Hollister's up in Summit Mall. Teenagers were laughing. Boy, did Bill from the Freemasons run the biggest scam. Had some guy go in and drug her up and tell her to say that. Can you imagine somebody drugging somebody up and telling them to say something like that? We're laughing like it's funny. Then take a video of her showering, washing herself, and giggling, putting that in that other room. Then ran a contest of who could steal her money. And scammed everybody into helping out. May 26, 25, the next day, Walmart 62. Florida comes in, where they're laughing about the scam from Bill from the Freemason of the dirty doctor not being one of hers, works for them, and they had lied up in Summit Mall. And this whole thing being his scam, the cartel's tired of Bill from the Freemasons. Who does he think he is? I'd like to know that one too. And that other cartel threatening Michelle for telling on them, they're not running it. We are. Michelle says she's really nice. Even said how to take. I've never talked to her in person, just video message like I do here. Put it up on the internet. Told her to get to an FBI office before they kill her. Okay. Said she's really nice at it, even how to take care of herself. Okay. She's out of this. It's between us and them. Do they want more? May 30th, 25. The Louisville police, 1 o'clock in the morning. Some ladies with them, saying how she didn't think I was smart enough to know what surveillance laws are. She thought she could trick me out of money. It's called Google Honey. And said the investigator said that they found May 26, 25, Walmart 62, of this whole thing being a scam from Bill from the Freemason, and the dirty doctor not being one of hers, works for them, and they had lied he was one of hers. The officer gets out of comes around his vehicle. I'm looking out my window. She mentioned Bill from the Freemasons. This whole thing's a scam. They said they even found the original case. That her ex-husband hired 2 men on his own. One said he was an attorney, so it made it legal. No, it don't. What were they thinking? Oh, and then that officer's like, I didn't even look into it. I thought, shut up at this point. You know there's a real case my car's bugged. I thought, just shut up. He's like, she said Lori from her other job, they took her family member and killed her. And I didn't even look into him. I thought, shut up at this point. And she knew who Henry Maffei was. And he was here in town with the cartel. I thought everybody knew they were here. Even little kids were talking about him, including the ones who worked for the king from Texas and Judge Peters' group. You didn't know they were there? You need to shut up at this point. How stupid do I look? I thought, shut up. You didn't bother to look. Huh? They were in the bars. See, I was working at this one two-client lift. This one girl had her friend they had walked up and shot and killed them and killed him. It's as bad as when they took my family member. And they laughed at me. That they tied her up and they cut her up in pieces, and that's how they killed her. As they were cutting her up, they laughed at me. I looked at her, I said, people are sick. Like, it's funny they raped her. So funny they raped her. So funny they drugged her and told her to say it before. But this time, so funny they killed her. People are sick. You know what I mean? I'm thinking that in my head. I looked at her, I said, I'm sorry, people are sick. And she's like, you want to see a picture of her? She was beautiful. She said, how there was a big reward leading to information to find the guy that did it. I took a deep breath. I said, did you know about the guy in the white van? She looked at me and said, how did you know about the white van that took my family member? Took a deep breath. I said, did you see the big truck guys in town a couple years ago? She lives in Louisville too. Yeah. They were from Florida. Yeah. They were in the bars. Her and her boyfriends, yeah. I said, they said they were drug traders. Yes, they did. Hmm? Did you know about Henry Maffei? Sounds about right. He was with him. Sure, the picture from Facebook, that's not him, but he is with him. Said all of that to that police officer. You didn't look into it. People talked about Judge Peters, the Florida cartel, the ones that worked for the king, having his men watch me. They're all over me. Okay. Then Marlisa, my other house manager, I went into work early, was talking to her, and she's like, they were talking about the human traffickers. And she said, you know, that guy in the white van. I started stuttering with her. I said, that's my kidnapper. She said, the tall white guy with black hair. I said, that's him. She said, he took my niece on Christmas Day of 18. He was with another guy. And they said it's a drug traders, human trafficking people out of this area. They work in groups to trick people to go outside and grab them. Okay. You know, I can weep over these people and their loss. Survivor's remorse is real, and I've lived through hell. Meeting people that have lost family members is hard. Very, very hard. Okay. Not gonna cry tonight. Um, September 10th, 25. Okay. I'm in the Tuscarawas County Courthouse. The office that's behind this was in that courthouse. I had my husband now went for restraining order against his stepchildren that took him for a lot of money. And then were threatening him. Found out that the one stepson had beat on him really bad about 10 years ago. Scared to death now the thought of him being mad at him. Doesn't want him around him. And we had went in there and the lady prosecutor's office came in and said, they're going to blame you. Blame me for what? They extorted. I got like $50,000-$60,000 in checks. And I witnessed over $6,000 them taken out of him in 2 months. So he isn't saying they took way over 50, but they did. They drained him dry. And they bully him out of it. You don't want to see them. You don't have to. They're just his second wife's kids that knew their father that played the orphan con. And we're still in contact with him a few years ago. Okay? Well, I found out today he even came seeing Brenda when they lived in Louisville once. Yeah. Mr. Blue was not missing in action. He was in the house 6 months before the divorce with Carl. And then lived in the same area, kept in touch with his children. Found out today he even came visited Brenda while he was married to Carl. And the kids went and seen him a few years ago. But the way they talk, they're all little orphan Annies, and Carl's their only daddy. I heard one of them told his regular children, the rich oil lands of my father. They think he's a rich oil daddy. There's no... Carl's in debt to the oil company, $66,000. They overpaid him. Even the guy with the well on his land, don't even give money. They overpaid him too. Hadn't got it for a long time. And the consignment check's only like $1,000. $1,200. So that's not big oil bills, honey. Get the idea. Delusional. Okay? And they're just con men. Conning everybody. They don't want him. They only want his money. They do anything for his personal care? No. Well-being? No. Health? No. Or just come to see him? No. They ever come over? No. Have him over just for dinner without asking for money? No. Start thinking about it. Like his attorney, Kathy Stillman, said, you're nothing but an ATM to him, Carl. Told him cut him off over a year ago. Told him a year ago, man, the big money's gone. They gave him money for laying pipes through his land. That's where the big money came from. The rest, they gave him some consignment checks to everybody in that area. Royalty checks. Then they found out they gave him too much royalty. Make him pay it back. The big money came for laying the pipes through his land. It was only for the 2 pipes. And they took it, and half of it went to taxes. So, I don't even want to hear the little orphan Annie lies. Well, we were in that courthouse. He's telling them how they took all his money. They want a restraining order. That prosecutor came in and said, well, they're going to blame me. I thought, I didn't take his money. I'm not the one bullying him. That one guy had even beat on him years ago. What do I have to do with it? Oh, his biological daughters? Karen, you're not the problem. Brenda caused this, his second wife, before she died. Taught her kids that everything was Carl's they should be able to take. She's the one that caused the problem. It's not you. You walked into it. Well, I'm sitting in there. I thought, you better not blame me. I have nothing to do with this. I'm just trying to protect him. Heard some guy behind the prosecutor's door. I want her to hate him. I want her to have nothing. Senko was down there. We go in, and it was a circus show. Even our attorney called it a circus show and a sideshow. People coming in, telling one story, telling another story, changing it this way, changing it that way. Hmm? That kid even admitted he beat him, but then he tried to say it was a teenager. And Carl's like, liar. It's only like 10 years ago. He's in his 20s beating a 60-plus-year-old man. Carl said the only thing that saves his life is adrenaline kicked in and he grabbed hold of the middle of the throat. He said, it gets hold of me now, I'll be dead. I'm scared for my life. I seen him outside knowing he's angry. He actually shit himself. He said, I saw him myself. I kept doing it till he left. I'm so scared of him. I don't want him around. That crooked judge. Oh, you can be around him. I want him saying I let him go around anytime soon, but you could be around him. Oh, it's my daddy, the only daddy I know. Well, Mr. Blue was still showing up on his doorstep. Not 10, 15 years ago. Coming over to see Brenda. They still had a relationship with her father. They still weren't seeing him. They were still going to go see him a few years ago. Lived in the local area. He didn't go anywhere. It's all a big lie. Big con to steal from Carl. Oh, when his daughter and her husband found out that, their mouths dropped open. We were wondering why they're psychotic. I said it's a con to steal from them. Realize they're conning you. Well, we go to leave that judge. Standing out there in a rope in the hallway. That office was down here. Said she's the biggest liar. Nothing she said is credible. They spent thousands of dollars to look into this. Didn't even see anybody. You'd have to be Helen Keller. Blind, deaf, and dumb. And why would you spend thousands when the government paid millions? And everyone's supposed to get even with her. Do you know what's right on Google? Judges aren't allowed to get even with someone. Go to jail for it. Any kind of law enforcement. Never lied once. And that idiot behind the door, I had a right to do those things to her. Had a right to know what I was against. The idiot that's afraid of a 51-year-old fat woman in a skirt. Thought he had to have me drugged and told to say stuff, beaten, raped in my own home, photoshopped my head on somebody else's body, showering in his perverted stocking tape, and the stupidest dumbass scam. Now, Agent John, you didn't fall for his little doofus scam, right? Because I've talked to the police, no law enforcement would fall for that. No one would. Were they made a fool of you? You never fell for that, right? Or the dirty doctor scam. HIPAA violations, can't be in it with Dave. Not one of mine works for them, they lied. You didn't fall for such a doofus scam. Then it's just supposed to be some guy Dave hired on his own. But the people behind it was in the courthouse. Okay? September 18th, 25, Walmart West Desk. Investigators were talking. It was the office behind all this. In that courthouse, lying on her. It's not funny they impersonate the Portage County Sheriffs. September 20th, 25. Summit Mall girls are talking. When she was talking about having that panic attack when she heard that one guy's voice outside. They said it was the guy that raped her and tortured her. The one that says he's FBI. He just works for that office. That's not even funny. You tell everyone not to say a word. It's people that work for that office. Oh, they were seen at Faith Family Church by 3,000 people, with the ones that said they were from Florida work for Judge Peters. And where they were walking around telling people what? Calling you, everybody's been talking about them calling you a coward. Why did they call an Agent John a coward? They want to find that he's not credible and nothing he has should be able to be used. He opened that case to defraud her. And since he opened it to defraud her, It's not legal surveillance. You can't use fraud. It all needs to be thrown out. Like they said, on September 18th, 25, they all realize they just want the drug cartel released. It's a loophole. Big legal one. Where they said they were looking for him in 19. Where you told on me for calling the hotline. See, so, April 19th, 25, Hartville, flea market in the morning. There's investigators. How dumb are these people? You wouldn't believe how dumb they are. She calls FBI hotline. They walked into an FBI office. Confessed they were legally monitored on their own. Trust me, nobody fell for the dirty doctor scam, taping you unaware, confessing her crime, sat on it till they wanted a divorce. And it sounded mechanical. We knew it was them and not you. And nobody fell for the tape of weird with yourself. We knew it was photoshopped or washing. And everything was photoshopped. But if they were going to be that dumb and try this with us, we told Ada and John to go tell on her to that church before you talked to her. Where you were up there telling on me for calling the hotline before you talked to me. That you didn't fall for it. It was a scam. Now, H and John, we're on September 20th, 25, outside Summit Mall. When we were talking, they said the police said they always knew Karen never lied to them once. She called the FBI hotline with attempts and threats on her life. Those people walked into an FBI office and confessed it was them. The rest was caught under police surveillance with a court order. See, that's what they want thrown out. Then like they said, they want every drug cartel dealer released. All you have to do is stand up for me and pay me. See, they actually think you opened the case to defraud me. Went and told on me. Act like a crazy call person you didn't care I was being drugged, being raped. Because some idiot called me a faker. There was a medication there. Medicine almost killed me. Took me 9 months to get well. You confessed on a recorded line that you had met with that family that her father murdered her kid in a traffic accident, speeding, ran a stop sign, and semi killed them both. And the church people, they were trying to kill me because Strange made up a lie and called me a faker when they thought I was called Paul and Timagady. That was Linda. So you met it on a recorded line. You met with all those people. You had them in your office. Several times laughing at me. They already knew. You were seen by hundreds telling on me. Made fun of me on a recorded line for some guy named Pete. Still don't know who he is. Made fun of me for some doctor I'd never heard of. I thought it was another lady used my insurance. But no, it's just a scam. Like Michelle said, he works for them. They had lied. He was my doctor. She don't know who he is. Made me beg for my life and lifts me informant. Everyone knew. You do not have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. Freedom of speech, First Amendment. Takes a judge in a jury trial. A police officer can't say, you say something, police won't help you. They go to jail for that. It's obstruction, tampering. Can't withhold protection. And you can't open a case with money and immunity and steal the money. You've already told everyone. And they've already been in your office telling you they already knew. And you became stupid at that point. Oh, I talked to the prosecutor's office, criminal attorney, police, and grants from an FBI office. You don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. Can't be in the court order. It's illegal for you to even say it. Then you, out of your own confession on a recorded line, you've already met with everyone and they already know the FBI is involved. So why would I stay quiet? Like they said, He was only bullying you. Hmm? And they think you did it just to steal from me. That you're stealing from the government. Investigators even said they were investigating you because they all know you told on me before. No, you don't have authority. He didn't pay me. And they're using that as a loophole to get the drug cartel released. All you have to do is say my informant's very honest, never lied once. Got it all under police surveillance. Hmm? Of course I'm going to pay her. And those drug dealers are going to stay in jail. January 20th, 23, I met with a friend, Maddie, out in Worcester. A bunch of men came in to look around. I thought, these aren't my guys. I don't wonder what this is about. There's a riffraff over in the corner saying something, of course. Matt kept asking me who he was. It's like, I don't know. I just want to say he's a riffraff, leave him alone. And I'm looking around, there's like a sea of guys. I'm sending them home. He said, I got a friend on the police department. I thought, you brought your police department? Know about the case that agent opened with you? Knew about the Texas group involved in your case? Like the Kingsman? That's what I call him. Because we all work for the King from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. He's a U.S. military Iraqi translator when in a dark web malware found a king. It's where the Muslims showed up. Okay? Middle Eastern men, they're all after him. Every law enforcement's after the Texas group. I found out. Retired CIA agent I talked to. All law enforcement's after him. Okay? We start going through different things. And then he starts drilling me in front of him till I'm stuttering. I walk outside. These men start coming out. We're the U.S. Marshals. We're going to be taking care of them. That agent left her there. Can you imagine? He left her there. He told us he left her there because she's weird with herself. Who would care who she was? It was probably them and not her. We'll take care of them. 3 weeks later, they did an 800 people sweep. Then like 200 and then another 150. Found a bunch of people. Judge Peters out of Florida, where the one showed up at Faith Family Church. They were also in the mall that they were drug traders and human traffickers from Florida, were for Judge Peters. Michelle was with them. Those people impersonating the Portage County Sheriffs and the fake FBI agent that tortured me at Faith Family Church in front of 3,000 people. Judge Peters was arrested by the FBI in 22 with 100 men. The people that work for him are still here in Ohio. They didn't get arrested. Okay? You got a drug cartel out of Buffalo, New York, Michigan, California, a lot of different other ones where they played a sick game, paying for the harassment. Different cartels each day. They got surveillance on all of them. People were going off it this way, that way, this way, that way. Investigators going after them. Left in the middle of the cartels. They pulled a case in January of 19. You'll find Dave messing with the King from Texas then. I'll hear him talk to him a couple times. Off in the distance. Yeah. Okay. January 5th, 25. I go in Walmart. 62 investigators come in. What is this? Another FBI agent lied to a U.S. Marshal? That she was weird with herself? We always knew it was photoshopped and washing. And they had drugged her and told her to say it before. And another FBI agent lied to a U.S. Marshal when we always knew that. Or they said they always knew somebody else did something wrong before. Yeah. Where on July 24, 25, an investigator on a motorcycle been following around since 18 was outside Bob Evans. I did a body ratio. I forgot how big Karen was when the case started because I used to be really heavy. In the tape of Weird With Yourself, the body ratio wasn't the same. With somebody else washing in the shower, they put her head on their body. Nobody knew about it. Danny and John didn't know anything about it. They know very, very little. I was thinking about that tonight. You know, I love my family. I love my family to know that I almost died to save them. That's where the police and the investigators that work my case, you cannot disrespect me in front of them. Of how dare you people ever insult her? She almost died to save everyone. She's amazing. She has no training. She lived through all that and helped us get all this information on these people. You need to be proud of what you lived through, because of what you lived through, it saved a lot of lives. My neighbor Keith got to meet one of the wives. I think Miss Marshall's kid. I've lived through hell. I was in Massillon a couple months ago. Some guy said I asked the police to look you up, and they said you almost died to save everyone. And you deserve a hell of a lot more respect than what people give you. I've had officers yell at people. Karen around the house, Karen's while I go up into Akron. It's still open. It's part of the nationwide human trafficking scam. I seen a bunch of cartel up in Akron kept reporting it, and I know they're already following me. They found 45 kids up there. They found a couple hundred in Ohio that they still had captive. So where you think it's funny to make fun of me for being a human trafficking victim, they're running a scam on. That office that is helping them out is trying to get the cartel released on technicalities. That's where Agent John got choices. Choices. You don't have the authority to ask someone to stay quiet, and then you've already talked to everyone. You thought I was stupid. See, that's where they're going to get you for defrauding me. Open a road case with money and immunity. You don't have the authority to misdirect money or withhold it. You don't have the right to ask somebody to stay quiet, and then everybody knows that it's stupid. So First Amendment takes a judge to put a gag order on you. You know that. Everyone knows that. Even an attorney told me that. And you left me in hell. Well, you got surveillance on all these cartels where they abuse the hell out of me. You got to use that information to arrest thousands of drug cartels. And they're going to use a loophole. You told on me. You don't have the authority to ask me to stay quiet. And then you didn't pay me. So you defrauded me. Just pay me and stand up for me. The police were standing up for me up in Fairlawn. Karen never lied. Never lied once. She called the FBI hotline with threats and attempts on her life, and those people confessed they were trying to kill her. He opened a threat and attempted life case for an FBI informant. And everything else she said happened, got it under police surveillance. See, the police had told people Karen can't lie to us. Everything's under police surveillance. We always knew she never did. The ones that work my case, they talk about me like I'm pure gold. Walter Moss used to work at the Starr County Prosecutor's Office. Karen, you don't realize. You have a lot of great favor with a lot of officers. July 25th, 25. I'm in Bob Evans. Some idiot says something smart to me. I blow up. Go through a bunch of crap. Go over to Walmart 62. Carl goes to use the bathroom. An investigator from 18 comes in. I told that couple never to say a word to her again. I interviewed John years ago. He said nothing bad ever happened to him. So did all our boys. Well, they're supposed to have her drugged and told her to say da 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 da. And he was mad. I thought, where the hell you been? They didn't confess in that for years. But he was mad. See, that's where on Thanksgiving of 18, when I asked John what's going on, he's like, I don't know. I told Melissa you're moving out, going through a divorce. She'll have the kids make up something, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. She'll have her church people make up something too, but don't worry about it. Nobody could ever say anything bad about you. Just be made up because of the divorce and you're moving out. A couple years later, when Melissa pulled a mean stunt on him of hiding in his house, lunging at him, startling me, shoved her, and didn't even know he was in his house. Laughed. Now I got you had him arrested about domestic violence. That's not domestic violence. Lost his kids for a year. Called me up, Mom. I need a reliable name to put on the court records to pick up the kids. I said, John, I work 2 jobs. I don't get off the first one, let alone the second one. I'm sorry, I can't help you. He said, but Mom, these are my kids. If you don't help me, I'll lose my kids forever. And I said, but John, I'll lose my apartment. I barely make it now. I'm sorry. And he pleaded with me. I have to have a reliable name for the court records. Would you please help me? And I couldn't and keep my apartment. He lost his kids, moved down to Florida years ago, remarried, found out he's now a pastor of his own church. I've always been proud of him. He's put himself through college, became an electrician, even got high up enough to even teach college at one point. And when Melissa pulled that mean stunt where he had told me that God laid it on his heart, he should be a minister. I thought maybe it was wrong. Mm-hmm. Has his own church. I listened to him online. It's pretty good. He's a pastor of his own church. Danny defended me. Josh defended me. Even Dave did. Because I expected him to. Even Dave defended me. For caring, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids. You would never hurt anyone. You're good to everyone, no matter who it is. You know, they act like that divorce attorney was Melissa, divorce attorney against John. And it would, that guy, Pete Dave, hired on his own. I don't know either one of them. And they thought they had to take me out of the picture. So they had me drugged for fake confession, beaten, raped, under drugs. I said, bitch, move. Where I thought it was a wild water killing me. How would you like to take a shower in orange wild water? Huh? Go in and get mad. Wake up the next morning with orange, lemon, grapefruit-sized bruises all over you, throwing up, heart racing, severe personal infection. The only thing you did is take a shower. Some mornings you wake up okay, you go out, work outside, come in, wash your hands. I'd have a 2-liter Diet Coke, pour a glass of pop, and make a sandwich, set it on the coffee table, go in, and use the bathroom. Wash my hands better, come out and take a drink in the room, go to Zoom block. Same thing. Never talked to me. Never had my neighbors in my home. I had family repair guys, installation guys, and 2 silly officers on August 8th of 18 midnight light the security system. Told me I looked like an alien or a angry spirit. Told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. I never had anybody else in my home. Nor did I see him. Nor did I talk to him. 3 weird memories I thought was nightmares. Sound of footsteps. A syringe coming at me in the room going dark. And feeling like my back's being ripped open to my chest. I can't see, I can't breathe. And all I can hear is my wails of every part of my body in agony. I thought they were nightmares. For cases. I don't know. Now, if you think that's funny, people hurting people like that, there's something wrong with you. Agent John, I like my money. I got a lot of good to do with it. And they're holding that above your head that you open the case just to, they actually think you open the case to steal. Even Grant's friend that's an FBI agent on state said you didn't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. And then you've already told. That makes it stupid. And if I didn't get my money, the only one could have took it is you. Get you information on David and Churches. My God, I had no idea what hell you were going to leave me in. I have a dent in the back of my head from 12/21/18. I was almost shot in the head driving. First 2 months of the case, there's a shooting night of Christmas Eve of 2018. Had to hide not to get killed. I was human trafficked in 18 and 19. I was tortured July to September 19 by the fake FBI agent and 2 other guys. Saw videos of it, even children. I used to stutter till I'd almost vomit. I started smoking to calm my nerves down when people, even 5-year-olds, would mention that rape and torture. I faced 6 stalkers. I was drugged till I lost 70 pounds. They induced vomiting till my stomach shifted up underneath my ribs. I was chicken winged, knocked into a wood railing, and beat. My rib cage is damaged, my shoulders damaged. And with those idiots, even underdogs, were punching me in my stomach so hard they left giant orange, lemon, and grapefruit-sized bruises. They almost ruptured my intestines. I had a CAT scan on my stomach. They said that I have large pouching, extremely large pouching. It can only happen when you're hit repeatedly hard in your stomach. They almost killed me. That's why you left me in, so you could get surveillance. I'll need a medical card too. A letter of thank you for helping you with this case would be nice. And my money. I don't, think it's funny that Melissa's divorce attorney against John thought they had hurt John's mother. That's mentally sick. To make sure Melissa gets everything. And Dave hiring that guy named Pete on his own, getting the cartel involved and hurting me that bad for Dave to get everything. And then they dare with their little drug scam, with their hypnotic drugs and drugged and told to say stuff, and I never seen her talk to anybody is funny. Or photoshopping my head on somebody else's body, washing in the perverted stocking tapes. I don't think they're funny. Need to arrest them. I'm gonna upload this. The people behind it were in Tuscarawas County Courthouse, lying on me. September 10th, 25. Got them dead to